You know, here's a question. Why is it that people seem to expect the worst thing to happen? We seem to concentrate more on the negative side of things. You go on the internet, social media, seems like negativity is entertainment. You know, when I was growing up, and this is not something like, oh, it used to be this way, but it's just a fact. When you watch the news, you see a lot of good stuff that people do. And then there's a small section for where all the crime and stuff is happening. Now they start with the crime and they talk about crime all the way through the newscast. Everything is negative. Everything is negative. Social media, man. You go on, all these social media platforms, and everybody's accentuating the negative part of their life. And it seems like if you have something positive going on and you mention it, you're showing off. Or you think you're better than. It's like this too, and I know I'm just babbling here, but it's just thoughts in my head. If you're a nice person or you aspire to be a good person, you're not supposed to talk about being a good person. You get gaslighted with statements like, well, if you're a good person, you won't talk about it, you're going to show it. But let me, you have these bad boys and all these, strong type who does bad stuff and talks about it all the time, and everybody go, ooh. And this is from a lot from experience to that and observing what's going on. If you're a good person, very few people offer help. But if you're a bad person, everybody jumps to your rescue. I don't care what nobody say. I've seen it all the time. It's like, and people call it, charisma. That's why people flock to not so good people. Well, there's got to be good charisma and bad charisma, right? I mean, let's be real here. You have all these people on social media giving advice on how to be. Like the other day, I was I was watching this thing, and this guy was like, "How is it to be a man?" And he's like, "It used to be that men were leaders, you know, and they see a woman, they could have a woman, and they could this, and he's just going off, and then you have to be dangerous. You go to the gym and you get buffed, So here he is, concentrating on aesthetics, but there's nothing about actually how to be human. There's nothing human like about what he's saying. And that's the evil of gender roles, because gender roles takes away the humanity in people. The accentuation of negative traits and picturing it as or presenting it as a positive trait is abundant. Everybody's blaming everybody for everything, and nobody's taking accountability for anything. But you have to take accountability. So how else could you become a better human being if you don't take accountability for the things that you do? Like I remember when I got divorced, circumstances were circumstances. And I ain't going to elaborate on that, but what I did was I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter who is wrong here. What matters for me now is what was my part in the demise of the situation, regardless to what they do. I want to worry about what I did, and for two reasons. Number one is to heal the wound, and number two, to become a better person. Because isn't that what life is? I mean, it doesn't matter. Nobody is going to get perfect. But if you go through life working on being a better person, by the time you reach a certain age, then you're going to be the type of person that you should be, a human being. Not necessarily the type of person you want to be, because if you aspire to be the type of person that you want to be, you'll be influenced by outside ideas. And these days, man, those outside ideas are just destroying the humanity in people. You know what I mean? It's all about aesthetics. You know, men should have not be emotional. Women are emotional, and women do this and women do that, and there's gender roles, and there's race roles, and there's religious roles and nationality rules, and all of that stuff is just wiping the humanity out of people. We don't see ourselves as human anymore. I like to say we don't see ourselves as human beings. We are cultural beings, you know what I mean? That's what's driving our interaction with each other. We see somebody, oh, that person is of that religion. I don't know, they're wrong. But you can't be wrong if you're just simply human. There's nothing to criticize if you're just human. I think being a good person is an innate human trait. People would say that humans are survivals, you know what I mean? And it's a dog eat dog world, and it's a rat race and all of that. That's just letting circumstances dictate how it is to be human. Because if there's a disaster or something happening, and people become selfish, and everybody's like, well, that's the natural human instinct. I don't think it is. I think the natural human instinct is to help each other. Now, I'm not saying there's not some people that's going to go get stupid and do stupid things and be selfish. That's going to happen. But I don't think that's the main part of human being. Now, here's something too that I've noticed. If you speak about being good, about wanting peace and love, and anything like that anymore, nobody's pushing that type of idea to the forefront. Because everybody wants to be a warrior. Fight, fight, fight. Beat your chest, howl at the moon. How much do you solve by being like that? Because if you beat your chest and howl at the moon, you're going to leave road bumps. That's good. And you're going to come full circle back to those road bumps. You're not really solving anything. It's like, let me put it to you this way. Let's say a country is having issues. And you go, okay, I think we need to go in there and, use force to make them see the right way. But what's happening is If you go in there and you're supposed to make them see the right way, then the next generation is not going to go, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, somebody's going to come and say, remember what they did, and the cycle continues. I know, I know. I'm just all over the place with this, and it seems kind of random. But if you pay close attention, there's a connection going on there. I ain't gonna edit nothing either. I'm gonna just talk. I'm not a professional orator. Stand up here, you know what I mean? This is just a little life's reflection. I like being a good person. I absolutely like the fact that I want to see people happy. I like the fact that I like checking up on people to make sure they're okay. I feel human that way. I'm not saying that I don't get angry, disappointed. I'm not saying that I don't put my foot down when I realize somebody's taking advantage. I do. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes when I do, I feel guilty. But then I have to stick with my guns, so I do. And that's not being a man, that's not being strong, that's being human. And earlier on, when I was talking about the people who say, do something without expecting anything in return, I don't expect for myself. I expect you to go be good to somebody else. The trick is to somebody who deserves it, not to somebody who's taking advantage of you. And I'm not saying ignore the people who might take advantage of you. Do good to them too, until you realize that, hey, this ain't working out. You know what I'm saying? There's such a confusion of how it is to be human anymore. I don't know, maybe it's where I was raised, sitting up in the rainforest, contemplating stuff, sitting on the beach, contemplating stuff. There was a lot of alone time. There is something to be said about sitting in nature and contemplating. And that's another thing, man. We are totally living in these concrete jungles. We are totally adverse to nature. Everything is supposed to work in unison, but we're not anymore because everything around you is utility. You live in a concrete jungle in an apartment. There's very little nature stuff. It's all mechanical. So it's kind of hard to find that balance, you know? But somehow you do, you manage it. And since we all boxed in into this one place, we have to get along. We have to be a community. I don't profess to have the answers. But I know one thing, I'm going to keep being who I am because I kind of like who I am. Boom, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me feel good to be good to people. It feels natural. Makes me feel like a human being. Because I'm not looking for acclamation or nothing like that. And that's another thing too. Like I was saying earlier, when you're a good person, you expect to be humble. Don't say it, because if you say it, then you're not really a good person. Show it. I think good people should start talking up and saying, "Hey, I'm a good person. Respect me. Stop taking me for granted." It's okay to be a good person. No matter if people think it's weak to be a good person. And a lot of people do. A lot of people find that, and even in relationships, a lot of people find that that fake toughness, because it is fake. All that bad boy stuff they have, that's all fake, man. Because they're the most emotional people on the planet. Why? Because they're human. That's why they get angry all the time and they yell, and you're gonna respect me. You know what I'm saying? I saw a video here recently where this kid, who is an MMA fighter, went into a wrestling match, and he felt disrespected, so he beat this guy, beat him up. And they call it toxic masculinity, but I don't. That's just a label there. My man done lost his humanity. That's all that is. Guys who act stupid, women who act silly. It's not that no, it's not toxic this and toxic that. That's just buzzwords there. It's just a person who lost their humanity. That's how I see it, at least. You know what I mean? The labels is just labels so that people could separate themselves. I think it's a look down upon type of mechanism. Oh, you're toxic. Nah, it's just not human anymore. And this is not an insult per se, because you could, everybody's got the human moments. Everybody does. When you spend a lot of time together, you think about things like this a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only person who likes who I am. Don't question why I am the way I am. I just am human. And I keep saying human, human, because my mother always told me that most people are good people. And I go by that. And some people may get on going and say, oh, the world is this, the world is that. So because the world is this and the world is that, why should I be this and that? And everybody's talking about they have a mind of their own and they think their way, you know what I mean? Everybody's influenced by stuff around them. It's a battle to be human anymore. And if you don't pay attention, you'll fall into that trap. And you're going to be miserable just like the rest of them. Oh, I, you have nothing, you're broke, you this, you that, but you're happy. They say that a lot about people in third world countries. Oh, they have nothing, but they're happy. So what you gonna do? Be miserable your whole life because you have nothing? Mainly material things. And I brought that up for this very reason. I had this guy that I used to work with, right? He went to Panama for some kind of an internship. He went to Panama for. And he said at first he was in a city where, it's business people and everybody looked like they had money. And everybody's just running around all stressing out about, stuff. But he said he went to a poor neighborhood and they were just laughing and talking, kids running around playing soccer and all of that. And he said it was as if they don't know that they don't have anything. And I said to him, no, it's not that they don't know they have anything. They know they don't have anything, but what should they do? Give up? Sit there and harp on the fact that they have nothing? Or are they going to live while they're living? You live while you're living, or you could just walk around and be the living dead, right? Well, I think I've babbled enough for the day. Hey, y'all take care, okay? Be human. Just be human.